Hey everyone, it's Alex and Spencer again with Debt Collection 101 on Our Bite You.
Yeah, we have a very special episode today, Alex.
Yeah, we have our first guest.
Very first guest on the history of Debt Collection 101.
Yep.
We're joined today by phone by Eric Neal of Neal & Associates. Eric, can you hear us?
Yep, just fine, thank you.
Awesome, perfect. So Eric, for anyone who doesn't know who you are already, why don't you give them a quick rundown?
Well, a lot of people in the industry know me from, I ran a collection agency. I previously ran the Professional Debt Collectors Club and, a couple of those other collection clubs, collection agency group and whatnot. And I was in the industry for about 10 years and, I just kind of decided to move on after a little while and go into something I enjoyed a lot more, which was, I was a good little soldier. I put in my time for a decade into the collections arena, and then enough was enough. All broken promises and such, it got tiring after a while. It's a good business, but it was just time to move on for me.
Yeah, so you pivoted to skip tracing, right?
Right, I just moved right into skip tracing, and that's our sole practice. That's all we do now.
So I guess maybe a lot of people might not be familiar with exactly what a skip tracing company does. So who retains you guys to do work for them? Is it collection agencies or what exactly are you guys doing?
Yeah, well, our primary clientele are usually collection agencies that are litigating against the files. So it's usually attorneys' offices, collection agencies that maybe be collection law firms, but the type of clients that are going to be needing verified data, like on places of employment and such, so they can run, they can get they can go through the litigation process and they can get, go after assets. They can get a wage garnishment on the files, but they need someone that is kind of a step above collection, someone that, because all collectors can skip trace to a point. They can find good numbers on people, get location information, but they're not really solely trained to get the job information. That's not all they do all day. So this is what we do all day long. So this is our specialty.
Great. So you're a master at skip tracing, and like you said, obviously it's a big part of a collector's day. So you're the perfect person to get advice from, it sounds like. So I guess moving on to the next question, and I guess for somebody who is new into collections or into the collection industry, I mean, what is skip tracing? Because it's not a very, the word doesn't describe what it is, I guess. I mean, it's essentially finding people, but it's a little bit more than that. So what, I guess, is skip tracing?
You get two definitions from an old school skip tracer. An old school collector can tell you perfectly what it is to them, and maybe someone in the new form of thought would tell you something different. But I'm a little of both, I'd say. And an old school collector would say, back in the day when we didn't have collection software and we didn't have anything, we were working off Excel spreadsheets or whatever it be. It was calling. It was getting on the phone and extracting information from people. And this is back before the FTCPA really, kind of went into effect, or at least more agencies were following it. But it was calling and lying to people, deceiving them, getting information from them. It was making friendly connections at other businesses, at insurance agencies and car dealerships, and getting information from them. But the thing is, with the laws changing so much and everything, now skip tracing is a form of finding information and sometimes extracting that information, whether it's over the phone or it's online, but it's gathering information and using it for your purposes.
Okay. All right. So specifically for a debt collector, what, I guess, would be your, so if you can come up with 3 tips for a debt collector in skip tracing, what would they be?
Well, I guess it would be to, first of all, know your file, or know your files. If you're working, say, Colorado, for instance, you gotta know, if you're just working every state, then I guess it would be a little different, but you got to know first of all, you got to know the type of people you're skipping down. Are you skipping down Amex files, where these are probably going to be people that generally pay their bills, and they're going to be people that, it's a different class of debtors, I'd say. Or are you skipping down a payday loan file where if they're getting a payday loan, they probably have 10,000 other collectors calling them, and they're hiding themselves pretty well, and so you got to know the type of people that you're going after, and with that, it kind of directs on what you're going to be doing. Are you going to be picking up you got to understand if this is a file that you're going to be working where there's tons of other collectors, some of which are probably not following the law, that have tried everything in the book. You got to know a lot of it's time management. You got to know how long to spend on your file. And how long to skip it, because you're going to be skip tracing a file, and you can find a lead, and it'll always be over that next hill, but then there'll be another hill and another one. A big part of skip tracing is time management, and you really got to know when to stop and how far to go. And I guess the first tip would be time management. The second tip, more on the lines of skip tracing, would be check out professional licenses. You want to check out, we do a lot of Colorado files, for instance. The first thing we do when we hit the file, before we do anything else, is we highlight all the professional licenses available, and you can check this out by going to Colorado Professional License Search. And we just highlight everything. We type in the person's name, maybe the person and their AKA name, and then we look for a professional license. And if it's anything like a CNA or something in the nursing field or whatever, generally their profile will tell us exactly where they're working down to last week. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of states that you can do that with, but you want to check out their professional licenses, because you basically want to take the easiest route possible to find out, and it goes back to time management, but you want to take the easiest route possible first to find out if you can find their place of employment, if that's your goal, if that's what you're looking for.
So number one, time management. Number 2 was licensing, and number 3?
Number 3, I would say learn how to search on Google.
Really?
I see a lot of people I hire, people just from our clientele, that they put a name and they put a state in Google, or they just put a name in Google, and they get 3 million results. And
that's
one of the things that I teach my associates is how to specifically search in Google, and that's a good way to do it. I mean, there's lots of ways, and it would take a lot longer than the segment would last to go over all the ways. But I mean, you can Google, you can actually go to Google and Google, Google power techniques or power searching or whatever, and learn all the Boolean methods and this and that on how to do it appropriately. But what I like to do is I like to go to Google and I like to put the first and last name in quotes, and then outside the quotes I'll put the city, or if I have a general place that I think they're working or their type of work, I might put nursing or whatever, but I'll put the city or the state, and that can really direct you to the right LinkedIn, for example, to the right whatever. And so I would say learn Google techniques, and I do want to add another general tip along with that, along with professional licenses, is to search for online resumes, and a great resume site to search on is Indeed.com, Indeed.com/resumes. That one, the reason I really like that over some of the other sites too, is it tells you when the person last updated their resume, so you can see how recent that information is.
That's a really good tip, actually. Yeah, if you're trying to hunt someone down, find their resume.
Yeah, none of this. Anything you find online, I mean, you got to understand, people don't update things, people lie. I mean, we search Facebook, we search Google, we search Indeed, professional licenses, but none of this is an actual verification. Yeah,
you want to hear my 5th skip tracing tip?
Yeah, absolutely.
Contact a skip tracer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if anyone watching is interested in a skip tracer, contact us. We'll get you Eric Neal's information.
Yeah, we'll put his website in the link below.
Perfect.
So, but yeah, Eric, I appreciate it. That was great information. I mean, that was wonderful. Everyone's going to, I'm sure, benefit from that. And where better to get the information from than somebody who owns a skip tracing company? You do this for a living, so it's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for coming on. And thank you, everybody, for keeping up with us.
Yeah, if you liked what you saw, please subscribe below. Check us out next week, Thursday at noon. Thanks so much.
Thanks. See you next week.
See ya.
Thanks, everybody.